Black and White Network fans, we are back with another video. We're going to be talking about AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC is an idiot. I think we all know that. She is a woke lunatic. She's a socialist. She's a Marxist. We know this. But folks, when it comes to the social aspect of AOC, she's radical across the board, but her social stances are pretty dangerous. Very, very dangerous to the fabric of us being human beings. And we know that the far left, they hate the terms male and female. These people believe that men can be women and women can be men, even though they can't define what a woman is. They can't define what a man is. They say you can be whatever you want to be, even though biology says quite the opposite. You can't. It's just a fact. But AOC, divulging more into this wokeness, was talking about language. She says that language is fluid. Now, AOC, I don't know if she actually speaks Spanish, but I grew up in Texas, so I grew up around a lot of Mexican Americans. I can actually speak some Spanish. I actually took some few years in high school of Spanish, and I know that Spanish is definitely a gendered language. There's no doubt about it. The O at the end of a word is the masculine form, and the A at the end of the word is the feminine form. That is the way it is. But AOC, who is a loudmouth leftist Latina, yeah, I said Latina. I don't use the word Latinx or Latinx. And by the way, folks, I don't even think these people on the left know even know how they actually want to say that word. I hear Latinx. I hear Latinx. It's not even a real word anyway. And by the way, folks, only like 2% of Hispanic people even use the word Latinx or Latinx. But check this out on Breitbart. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Gender is fluid. Language is fluid. No, it's not, and no, it's not. But let's read some of this. Both gender and language are fluid. Far left Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat socialist from New York, said on Sunday while discussing gender inclusivity in Spanish language, defining the use of the terms Latinx, Latinx, and Latine. I've never heard of that. Or is it Latine? I have no idea what that last word is. This is the first time I've actually heard it, folks. This is how crazy these people have gotten. If you go anywhere outside of the United States of America, if you go to Cuba, if you go to Spain itself, and they actually call it Castellano, I believe, over there, instead of Espanol, but I digress. They don't use those terms. They don't. Quote, also in the spirit of pride, I wanted to have a note on gender inclusivity in Spanish language, Ocasio-Cortez said in a video posted as an Instagram story, taking issue with those who find gender neutral terms such as Latinx, Latinx as problematic. Well, it's problematic because it's not even a real word. It is not. This is a made up term by the woke left, because they hate gender, but yet we're supposed to believe all women. I don't know how that works out. Quote, people sometimes like to make a lot of drama over the term Latinx, Latinx, she said, asserting that people are attempting to find other gender neutral terms prior to Latinx. No, they're not. Nobody was out there trying to do this. Only you far left socialists were trying to implement this in, and it's not even picking up because Hispanic people do not use that word. Now, I find it to be pretty offensive, by the way. Quote, gender is fluid, language is fluid, she said definitively. And I think people right now are using the E term as a gender neutral in order to be as inclusive as possible. Don't have to make drama over it. I don't know anybody that's using the Latino Latine. I have never heard of that word. I don't know one Hispanic person that uses that. Maybe the woke people that keep voting for you in your district, they use it. But people in Texas, they don't use that word. Nobody is trying to get around gendered language because guess what? Gendered language exists. Your name is Alexandria, the feminine form of Alexander. Gendered language has always existed. It always will exist. That is just the way it is, AOC. She goes on, quote, there are some politicians, including Democratic politicians, that rail against the term Latinx and Latinx. And they're like, this is so bad. This is so bad for the party, like blah, 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 blah. She began accusing them of being fundamentally selfish of thinking that way. Well, shockingly, folks, there's actually still some Democrats out there with some common sense that aren't necessarily woke. They're not. I'm willing to bet if you actually ask your average Democrat Hispanic voter, if they even really have heard of the word Latinx or Latinx, most of them probably going to say no. There was actually a video on YouTube, I believe, a few years ago. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Steven Crowder. He was actually going around with his team asking Hispanics if they've even heard of the word Latinx, and if they have, do they use it? The vast majority of people don't even use the word. This is something that AOC wants to spread out there because it's an agenda. Goes on, quote, and like it's almost as though it has not struck some of these folks that another person's identity is not about your re-election prospects. Like this is not about you, she said. 99.9% of people are going to use the actual pronouns of like he, him, she, her based on their sets. Only these woke lunatics out there that AOC panders to is going to get triggered by that. Let's be real. They want you guys to think that the vast majority of people think like this. But AOC is not a normal thinking person. This is insane. This is insane. And you people that vote in AOC's district, I guess you guys want to be on board with all of this. But like I said before, I don't know any Hispanic. Any. And there's a bunch of Hispanics in the city I grew up in. This is Texas. I mean, Spanish is the second language of Texas, really. I don't know anybody that uses this woke language whatsoever. None whatsoever. I mean, I guess if you want to go with a gender neutral Spanish word, it'll be essay, because everybody's an essay. You know, like ¿Qué pasó ese? ¿Qué tal? Yeah, that kind of thing. Nobody's using the word Latinx, but that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, AOC is a hot mess and a moron. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.
Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.